What's going on, Celtics fans? The Boston Celtics are 1-0 to start the preseason. Yes, they did defeat the Philadelphia 76ers just moments ago, 114 to 106. And there are a lot of takeaways from this first game. And I think ultimately it was just nice to see the change seems to be working out. But how did you guys feel about the first preseason win? One-word thoughts in the comments to summarize the first preseason game. I'm going to go with promising. I think all the Celtics, off the bench, the starting lineup, all of them just showed promising outcomes for the regular season. I know a lot of people take preseason with a grain of salt, as you should. Joel Embiid did not play for the 76ers. James Harden did not play for the 76ers. So it's hard to look at this as a real game, but you should definitely at least take away some positives from this because this was the first time they played in a real basketball game with two new players in some jerseys, so there were some things to adjust to. And of course, with every preseason, there are going to be some takeaways that you have to address right off the bat, so that's what we're doing today on Celtics Today. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, currently not in the Chat Sports office. I am at my home because I just got off the couch from watching the Boston Celtics defeat the Philadelphia 76ers in the first preseason game of the NBA season. They will play again tomorrow night, but first, I wanted to address some things I noticed right off the bat in game one. Once again, type in those comments one-word thoughts from this first preseason game because my first thought is Porzingis is him. Any doubt you had about Kristaps Porzingis coming to Boston, throw it out the frickin' window. This kid is going to make a big difference in a Boston Celtics uniform because he started off hot. He scored the first basket of the game, a three-pointer from the corner. A 7'3" center did that. He is going to be electric on the perimeter in the paint, and he quickly had an ankle-breaking dunk along with a mid-range jumper. So we saw him hit from all three phases on the court. I have no doubt that, like we said, with this potential starting lineup, starting five, which Porzingis was a part of in today's game, they can shoot from anywhere. Porzingis is a part of that. He scored 7 points in the first 8 minutes that he even played. It was lights out in TD Garden. I loved everything that I saw from Kristaps Porzingis, and I'm not even over-exaggerating. His size and his length is just uncanny. He can defend so well just by putting his arms out, and he covers half of the paint. You don't realize how much it makes a difference until now he's finally playing for your team, and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much we were missing not having somebody like Porzingis. He's a legitimate lob threat. We saw that from Jayson Tatum, lobbing it up to him to give him that ankle-breaking dunk, so I think there's going to be a lot more of that. It wasn't all perfect, of course. You have to realize he's going to need some help on his transitioning just because of the the foot injury that he was coming off of. So I think there is a little bit. And honestly, I saw him fall once in the game and I did a gasp. I was like, please don't. I feel like he's very fragile, but that's just me in my mind because I know on that court he looked healthy, he looked happy, and he looked very productive in a Boston Celtics uniform. Although I didn't see him in the paint as much as I expected him to be there tonight. I saw him a lot around the perimeter and a lot at the top of the key. And when he was in the paint, it seemed like he was more the free throw line. And I saw Al Horford kind of behind him, which we also did see that Al Horford and Porzingis did a block, both of them, early in the first quarter. They had a block right up there against the glass. And also, Porzingis and Jrue Holiday double-teamed Tyrese Maxey at the top of the key. You try to pass around an all-NBA defensive player and 7'3" Kristaps Porzingis. We all thought Jrue Holiday and Derek White were going to be the two at the top of the key. Porzingis said, watch this. So there's a lot to take away from him. I was certainly impressed by Porzingis. What do you guys think? Type in the comments. Type Y for yes if you were impressed by Porzingis. Type N for no. I better not see any N's. That's all I'm saying. But no, seriously. Tell me how you guys feel about Porzingis' first game as a Boston Celtic. And the number two thought from preseason was that Tatum and Porzingis' two-man game is elite. While we didn't see this as much in this game, because obviously they're playing half of their minutes they normally would in a normal regular season game, I wanted to see more from them together, but when I actually saw them working at the top of the key together, the two-man game was elite. They did a great job of setting up screens, especially around the half-court mark is where you really kind of got to see Jayson Tatum and Kristaps Porzingis work together. They were feeding off of each other, and in my opinion, it looked like Porzingis had been playing with the Boston Celtics for years. That is how seamlessly he fit into this offense, and I think Tatum really complimented him on that. You always have the J's, Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, but now you can also add the P into that mix because I think Porzingis was a great complement to Tatum's game and ultimately made it a great two-man game. Just absolutely elite. They're going to be a crucial lob threat. Tatum reads Porzingis very, very well, almost as if he knows what Porzingis is going to do before he does it. I think Tatum really just spreads out the offense with Porzingis there, and he sets up everybody to be where they need to be so that Porzingis can be the star that he is. So I'm very excited to see that as well. Something else I'm super excited about is PrizePicks. That is our sponsor on Celtics Today. Of course, there are a lot of NFL games going on right now, but you can even make your picks ahead of the NBA season. All you have to do is go to prizepicks.com, type in /CLNS, enter promo code CLNS, and you can get a first-time deposit match up to $100. You must be asking how PrizePicks works. Well, I'll tell you. All you have to do is pick more or less on about 2 to 6 players' projected stats, and you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. I use PrizePicks for almost every single game now. I am actually obsessed with this. I do currently have all of my PrizePicks entries going on right now. As you can see, I have hit 3 out of 5 so far. So you can put in any money to win a certain amount. I did $5 to win 50. So far, I have hit 3 out of 5. Go to prizepicks.com/GLNS. Use promo code CLNS. My third thought from the preseason game is that Payton Pritchard is earning his bag. This man signed an extension earlier this morning and then goes and drops 26 points in 23 minutes. Get your money, Payton Pritchard. He signed a 4-year extension for $30 million earlier today, and he hit 9 out of 14 field goals. He hit six three-pointers in his first preseason game this season. He's come into play. He's realizing he's seen a little bit of space now that Brogdon is gone, and I think he's trying to show the Celtics, look, your depth goes deeper than just 6 men. Pritchard off the bench is going to be elite if he can keep this up. I'm not asking him to drop, 30 points per game like Tatum does throughout the season, but if he can just somewhat be a very consistent person off the bench, then I do think he is going to get his money's worth. He might even go back to the office today and say, hey, I want to renegotiate. I would if I was Payton Pritchard. I did see on Twitter there were some MVP chants going on. I don't know if that's the case, and that may be way too early, but he was definitely the MVP of tonight's game. He really did help He did help solidify that win over the 76ers today. So Pritchard did say after the game the extension is only going to make him work harder. So I hope you stick to your word, Payton Pritchard, because that is exactly what the Boston Celtics are going to need this year to try to get to banner 18. I want you guys to show your love for Payton Pritchard in the comments by typing PP in the comments. Let him know that Boston Celtics fans were on his side tonight in the 76ers win the first preseason game. Of course, they do play the Knicks tomorrow night, so I want to see if Joe Mazzulla is actually going to play him more tomorrow night, if they're going to play him at all, because, of course, the preseason is a little bit of a hit or miss on who's going to play, but I think Payton Pritchard just got his money, and he is showing everybody why. Type PP in the comments to show him some love. However, my fourth thought from the preseason game was that Jrue will need a little bit of time to adjust. I don't think anybody should hit the panic button just yet. I know there were some lingering rumors and thoughts on his productivity in Milwaukee towards the end of last season. I don't think that's what's happening here. I think the situation is he got to Boston 4 days ago. I think he needs a little bit more time to adjust to the team. He literally just got traded the day before training camp. So you have to understand he's not going to click just like that. Porzingis has been with the team since the summer. He's had time to adjust. But he did score 6 points in 22 minutes with 5 rebounds, and he did not start this game. I know earlier we did put out a video about potential starting 5 lineups, and the starting 5 lineups were Derek White, Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, and Kristaps Porzingis. Jrue came in after the first timeout in the game. He took some shots when they were open. His court vision is fine. That's what I'm not worried about at all. He did miss those said shots, but I think it was just more of him getting him in a jersey and really just throwing him in the fire to see how he's going to do with the Boston Celtics offense. And ultimately, I'm not worried at all. That's not what this is. It is the first preseason game for Jrue Holiday. He just moved to Boston. He's going to take some time to adjust, but I don't think we have to worry about productivity here in Boston. But tonight was not his best game. but I'm not going to call him trash or anything like that. I think he just needs a little bit more time. Now, number 5. My 5 and final thought from the first preseason game, the first preseason win over the 76ers, was that Tatum was shooting poorly. And that's coming from somebody that was averaging 28, 29 points per game last regular season. But you have to understand, in this offseason, Tatum put on 15 pounds of muscle. He was working out with Paul Pierce every day for 4 weeks. He's going to have to learn how to actually use that muscle. And it sounds crazy, but you got to think about it. When you don't have that extra 15 pounds, you're putting a lot more force behind your shot. Now that he's got that extra muscle, it's going to take him a little bit more time to transition and adjust into when he's going to shoot those threes, because he did go 0 for 4 tonight from the perimeter, which is not the Jayson Tatum that we all know and love. But I just think he needs to find his rhythm with the new muscle that he has. I think overall, he looked solid. He was running the offense. It was very spread out. He looked okay on defense. But I just don't think his shooting tonight is really going to make or break the entire season. I don't. He had 13 points in 27 minutes. Like I said, it's his first game back in the Boston Celtics uniform in the preseason. They play the Knicks again tomorrow night, so maybe he'll play. We don't know the starting lineup for that either. But I don't want to hit the panic button just yet. Overall, I think this was a great performance by the Boston Celtics. I wasn't looking for the starting 5 to kind of come out and show the whole world and scare the East. And, everybody's like, oh my gosh, who's going to compete? That's not what you're really looking for in the preseason. I'm looking at the bench. I'm looking at how the team is working together. And the fact that I see Jrue Holiday double teaming with Porzingis, I see Porzingis just fitting in seamlessly, and I see Payton Pritchard coming off the bench with the other subs and shooting lights out is what's giving me more hope. So overall, grade the Celtics' performance of the first preseason game. I'm going with a B. I think Payton Pritchard really carried the team. I saw a lot of good things. I saw only 2 turnovers from Jaylen Brown. Not as much with his left hand, but he still looked very stable in the sense that he knew how to kind of adjust. He started to dribble with his left hand. It would cross over to his right, so I do want to see a little bit more from his left hand. But 2 turnovers is not bad. I'm giving the B. That is my final grade. Type in the comments what you guys think of your overall performance of today's first preseason game, and subscribe to this channel, because tomorrow night, myself, my producer Smitty, we will be doing a watch party for the New York Knicks preseason game against the Boston Celtics, game 2 of the preseason, and we want you guys there to join us and come show some love and talk Boston Celtics basketball with us live. I've been reading your comments all off season, and I'm excited to interact with you guys. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., we will be live on Chat Sports. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel and get ready for some more Boston Celtics basketball.